Prison officers found this cat carrying quite the load of illegal substances in a green area of a prison in Costa Rica. After capturing the cat, officers removed the packages, which contained 235.65 grams of marijuana, 67.76 grams of crack paste, and 2 sheets of paper used for making tickets. The cat was nicknamed Narco Michi or Narco Kitten and handed over to the National Animal Health Service.
This inmate in jail has opened up a full crab leg kitchen along with a bar and grill. When you see what he has, that I'll show you in just a moment. But right now you see everybody gathered around. They're making plates and plates and plates, all this food. He's got people helping him. He's basically supervising, watching over it. And this is all a part of his hustle in prison. And he makes good money doing this, and all this food you see him making is for orders he has already gotten over his contraband cell phone. He even put up this story on his social media for all the other inmates who have contraband cell phones who can see his story. I'm showing this clip because it's a perfect example of what inmates actually are able to do, from stealing from the kitchen, to using contraband cell phones to promote themselves breaking policy, to how this is the main way when it comes to how officers get caught, because inmates can't help but promote themselves on social media. In America's federal prisons, some inmates aren't your typical convicts. We're talking millionaires, people with deep pockets and deep influence, and they're paying top dollar for contraband. But here's the kicker. It's not petty cash. We're not talking $20 under the table or $5 for a bottle of tobacco spit. No, think $20,000 for 4 or 5 cell phones, $2,000 for a carton of cigarettes, $100 just to get a bottle of tobacco spit in a jar. That's the black market inside our correctional system and on the other side of the walls. Some of the people you least expect. Correctional officers trusted to enforce the law are choosing to ignore their oath. For the right price, they're risking everything: their name, their livelihood, and their freedom. Tonight, we dive into the case of one such officer, a story of temptation, betrayal, and how a pile of crab legs blew the whole thing wide open. Meet Angela Crosland, 51, of Elgin, South Carolina. She wasn't your rookie. She was a seasoned federal correctional officer assigned to FCI Williamsburg in Salters, South Carolina. On paper, everything was normal: badge, duty uniform, and guard tower. But behind the scenes, a multi-million-dollar prison economy was humming. Contraband, Suboxone, meth, K2 soap paperwork, tobacco, food, cell phones, you name it, served as currency. And Ms. Crosland, she turned into a middleman for a fortune. How she got caught. Here's where it gets unbelievable. She was exposed not because of a wiretap, an undercover sting
from approximately mid-2023 to early 2025, Crosland smuggled contraband into the prison in exchange for bribes.
Luxury seafood,
a wild $56,791 in Cash App payments deposited from families and associates of inmates over 9 months. That's more than my annual salary. Every shipment of Suboxone, meth, tobacco, K2 cell phones, food, it all added up.
She didn't stop at small trades. We're talking about high-stakes operations, the scheme. And she didn't report that income. She allegedly filed false tax returns to hide the flow.
Turns out crab legs have a price tag beyond the seafood market. For Crosland, they were the appetizer to a full meal of crime. Investigation and evidence.
Here's how it came apart. Federal investigators, IRS criminal investigations, and the DOJ Office of Inspector General collected data. Phone records, financial transfers, Cash App receipts totaling close to $57,000. They connected dots between her off-duty lifestyle and underground cash flow. No seafood business bank account. No explanation needed. Then came the grand jury in February 2025, and they convicted her of bribery, money laundering, distribution of methamphetamines, Suboxone, filing false income tax returns. It wasn't a plea deal. This was a federal jury verdict, solid as the steel doors she once locked behind her. Sentencing and consequences. Flash forward to May 23rd, 2025. Crosland was sentenced to more than 11 years in federal prison for her crimes. And why such a long stretch? Because in the federal system, contraband undermines not just order, it's a public safety threat. In the words of U.S. Attorney Brian Sterling, when a correctional officer like Crosland chooses to betray trust, it serves the safety of both inmates and staff. Special Agent Eric Feldman added, contraband is a form of currency putting safety at risk, and the IRS emphasized their role unraveling complex financial transactions and money laundering schemes. They weren't kidding. The role of crab legs. Now, back to those crab legs, a funny story. Hardly. It was a glaring red flag in a sea of illicit behavior. Too much flash, too much flamboyance, expensive seafood, nice clothes, surprise food deliveries. For inmates used to ramen and institutional trays, the seafood bank would scream luxury payment. Her downfall wasn't the drugs or phones, it was the crab. Bring in a cooler of crab legs, and suddenly you paint a target on your back. The human element. Now, let's talk psychology. Prison isn't a job, it's a high-stress environment. Staff are overworked, underpaid, understaffed. In that pressure cooker, money talks louder than conscience, and when wealthy inmates or their families offer a sweetener, that's when things get dark. We've seen it hundreds of times. Not just Crosland, but smuggling in Florida, Alabama, California. And yes, others have fallen. One Florida officer got caught with 668 grams of marijuana and $40,000 in bribes. Another in Oregon got 15 months plus supervised release. This is corruption's law. Once you compromise an inch, sooner or later you lose the rest. Lessons and warnings. So what's the takeaway? 1, contraband is currency. Cigarettes, cell phones, drugs, they're the street economy behind bars. 2, staff are human. Under stress, low pay, isolation, temptation creeps in. And 3, small risk, big payoff. Angela probably told herself just one shipment, then I'll walk away. We know how that story ends. 4, over-the-top luxuries like crab legs stand out. They make you visible in a bad way. Foods, financings, and favors, they all become evidence. The bigger the gesture, the louder it screams payoff. Conclusion. Angela Crosland will serve 11 plus years behind bars for betraying her badge, breaking the law, and bringing lavish meals into a world where those meals told a criminal story. But her case, it's not unique. It's part of a pattern that puts prison staff and inmates alike at risk. If you found this story eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into corruption and crime. Drop a comment. What do you think was the crab legs move, just stupid or bold? Let's talk it out. Until next time, stay sharp and keep asking the tough questions.
Officers found this cat carrying quite the load of illegal substances in a green area of a prison in Costa Rica. After capturing the cat, officers removed the packages, which contained 235.65 grams of marijuana, 67.76 grams of crack paste, and 2 sheets of paper used for making tickets. The cat was nicknamed Narco Michi or Narco Kitten and handed over to the National Animal Health Service.